Many of the messages we get as autistics every day remind us that we're different and that difference is bad. But today, I want to tell you why these messages are wrong while sharing some steps you can take to repair your self-esteem. The ableist belief that autistics are bad is one that neurotypicals often reach for when confronted with our unique traits. Sometimes they do it out of ignorance, a knee-jerk reaction to something they don't understand. They may also simply view autism as a deficit or a fault that needs to be corrected. There is a tendency within the autism community to react defensively to this deficit mindset by casting autism exclusively as a strength. And this makes sense given many of us feel that our autism is an intrinsic part of our identity. Personally, I would rather look at my autism as a strength rather than as a shortcoming. At the same time, I can recognize that this condition comes with some downsides. My sensory sensitivities can, for example, be a total nuisance. And I also have difficulty forming and sustaining relationships. Do I wish it was easier? Yes. Should I treat these downsides as a reflection of my worth? Definitely not. The deficit mindset promoted by ableism is inherently disabling. No wonder then that it leaves many of us feeling helpless and hopeless. To look at oneself through a paradigm of autistic inferiority undermines our strengths. If we're going to acknowledge our challenges, we should frame them instead as areas for growth. For example, as an autistic, I admit I could improve my social skills. But if I choose to improve them, it's not to satisfy ableism, but rather to create more fruitful interactions with others. Areas of growth aside, being autistic comes with a ton of strengths. For example, we enjoy peer relationships characterized by absolute loyalty and impeccable dependability. We are free of sexist, ageist, or culturalist biases, able to regard others at face value. We are willing to share our mind, irrespective of social context or adherence to personal beliefs. We also have an ability to pursue personal theory or perspective despite conflicting evidence. We seek an audience or friends capable of enthusiasm for unique interests and topics. We take consideration of details and spend time discussing a topic that may not be of primary interest. We listen without continual judgment or assumption. We are interested primarily in significant contributions to conversations, preferring to avoid ritualistic small talk or socially trivial statements and superficial conversation. We seek sincere, positive, genuine friends with an unassuming sense of humor. As employees, we're also known to be reliable, persistent, perfectionists, easily able to identify errors, technically able, to have a sense of social justice and integrity, to be willing to question protocols, accurate, attentive to detail, logical, conscientious, knowledgeable, original in problem solving, honest, and likely to thrive on routine and clear expectations. In a majority of situations, these qualities are beneficial. They are also proof of our capabilities, and they directly challenge this deficit mindset. Of all the qualities I've mentioned here, are there any in particular that you relate to? And how have these qualities been helpful in your life? Let me know in the comments. Strengths will vary from individual to individual and may manifest physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, or spiritually. We may not be aware of these strengths and how they've helped us to cope with the challenges of day-to-day life, but they're still there regardless. Failing to recognize our strengths is called being strengths blind. There are 4 factors that can prevent us from seeing our strengths. Firstly, there is a lack of awareness of these strengths, resulting from us not practicing self-awareness or from us feeling disconnected from our identity. Secondly, we may not see our strengths as meaningful. Thirdly, we may downplay them as ordinary rather than extraordinary. And fourthly, we may overuse our strengths to the point that they create problems. One commonly overused autistic strength, I would say, is passion. Autistics do have something of a reputation for wanting to share knowledge about their areas of interest, even with the most casual of acquaintances. If we're not careful, we may end up talking at length and scarcely allowing the other person to get a word in edgewise. In fact, we can become so caught up in the act of sharing that we fail to take notice of the subtle and not so subtle cues that the other person is getting annoyed or feeling frustrated. But in moderation, this character strength can be hugely advantageous. For instance, passion can enable us to become leading experts in our chosen fields. We can overcome strength blindness by growing our awareness. You can do this in your own life by reaching out to your closest friends and family and asking them, "What do you think my strengths are?" Their responses should give you a clear idea of what you excel most at. Alternatively, you can take a character strength and virtues questionnaire, such as the one I've linked below. Some common qualities are creativity, curiosity, judgment, love of learning, perspective, bravery, perseverance, honesty, zeal, love, kindness, social intelligence, teamwork, fairness, leadership, forgiveness, humility, prudence, self-regulation, appreciation of beauty, excellence, gratitude, hope, humor, and spirituality. The great thing about character strengths is that most of them are not determined by our level of ability. Once you've identified your strengths, select your topmost 3. Then ask yourself, what activities do you do in service of those strengths? Doing these activities will most likely make you feel great about yourself. This is because they're usually impactful and satisfying. When we do these activities and receive a positive result, it in turn affirms our strengths and builds self-esteem. So if you have low self-esteem, make a conscious action plan to do at least one of these 3 activities when you feel like you're struggling. If love is one of your strengths, perform a kind act for someone, such as buying a friend a gift. If appreciation of beauty is a strength, pay a visit to an art gallery or a public garden. If creativity is a strength, pick up a pen or a paintbrush and start creating. Of course, doing the occasional activity can only take you so far. If we really want to grow our self-esteem, we should make these activities a habit. Set aside a regular time in which to do these activities. Incorporate them into your daily or weekly schedule until they become habitual. Why is this so important? Because habits create a snowball effect. The more we exercise our strengths, the more they feel like a part of our character. The more we orient our character around our strengths, the more capable we feel. The more capable we feel, the greater our sense of self-worth. The greater our sense of self-worth, the more likely we are to embrace our strengths. What's one new strengths-based habit you could commit to over the coming week? Share your responses in the comments. If you found this video useful, let me know by liking this video, turning on notifications, and subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.